Hi everyone, it's Christy going live in the test gardens for Planted Places on Friday like I normally do, and it's mid-September, so we're looking at September 17th, and I am here to talk to you about end of summer. Next week is fall, and we've got some exciting news. We are doing our 6 in 30 challenge this October, and right now we're signing people up, and it's a challenge that I'm going to talk about a little bit. It's very exciting because it's really for all of you out there that want to grow food. You know it's the right thing to do for your health. You know it's the right thing to do for the planet, and but you just don't think it's your thing, right? And this is why we're doing this challenge, because we're going to have you grow 6 organic greens and herbs in soil, in living soil. We're going to walk you through that in 30 days. So if you sign up for our challenge kit now, we will ship it to you the first week of October, your challenge kit. And we are going to take you through that every Saturday, the month of October. And we're going to end it up the end of October with a garden party. We're going to make drinks. We're going to make appetizers with the food we're growing. So what are you going to get? You're going to get leafy greens. You're going to get lettuce, and you are going to get some herbs. So when we talk about leafy greens, we're going to get things like, we're going to give you bok choy, and we're going to give you something called mizuna, which is very much like an arugula. It's kind of a little spicier than arugula. It's a mizuna. These things actually like the cooler season. So when the nights are starting to get cooler, they like that. We're also going to give you romaine, some butterhead. So you're going to have some nice lettuce so you can make some salads. And then we're going to be giving you some herbs. So it's going to be chives, and it's going to be oregano or thyme, just kind of a combination of herbs. So you're going to have some great, lush, organic greens and herbs. You're going to get the soil. You're going to get the soil amendments. You're going to get the pots. You're going to get some fun garden accessories. We're giving all that to you for $35, which is sort of an amazing deal. And then we're going to give you 5 weeks of coaching in garden coaching. And we're going to have a little bit of recipes in there and do some tutorials around what you do with this food. We're going to talk to experts about soil and what's important about the soil. So we're going to be doing all of that the month of October. So if you sign up now, between now and September 19th, you can get a free microgreen kit. Okay, so do it now. It's the weekend, the weekend's almost here. Do it now while you're thinking about it, okay? Because the week hits next week, you're going to forget. So do it now so you can get that microgreen kit, free microgreen kit. And then the launch starts in October, okay? So great way for you to learn how to grow. Fall is a great time. It is starting to get cooler. There's not as many pests around. You don't have to worry about the watering every single day in the summer. It lessens up a little bit, so it's a little easier. It's a good time to learn. So definitely check that out. I did put a link in the post here, so see it below. So let me talk a little bit. I wanted to talk about tomatoes, tomato harvesting and storing, and I want to talk about how we kind of recondition the soil. Now remember, with Planted Places, we're all about growing and living soil in containers and on living vertical walls with the different systems that we give you. And then we have our membership where we do it throughout the year. And for a lot of people in our membership, we planted tomatoes, and remember we did some big tomato, we did some big grow pots with some tomatoes are gonna get really big. And Sun Gold cherry tomato was one of the ones that we were growing. Oh my goodness, that thing has been popping out the fruit all month long. And it started in July. And typically with tomatoes, a lot of people don't know this, you want to grow them in the heat, right? They like the warm days, they like the warm nights, and they need time to grow on that vine and to ripen. And for some varieties, it's as early as 60 days. Other varieties, you got to wait maybe 80, 90 days. Sun Gold is one of those that actually after about 60 days, I was able to start harvesting it. So some of them take longer than others, but now is the time that you should be harvesting your tomatoes, because 65 to 75 degrees, little cooler, that's a good temperature for the ripening of the tomatoes. So your tomatoes are going to start ripening. Once it starts getting to be kind of in the 50s at night, even lowering into like some of the high 40s, low 50s, it really slows down that process, that ripening process. And at that point, your tomato plant's kind of stopping. And so it might look like it's fine, but it's kind of frozen in time. So what we want to be doing is we want to be harvesting those tomatoes. So let me show you. Here is a Plume Regal tomato, and you see how it's perfect red all the way around. If I touch it, it gives a little bit, so it's firm but not too firm. this is a perfect thing. You notice I keep the green cap on. I keep that on because that helps it from, you don't want it to kind of break here at the base, because that could potentially cause rooting if you don't, rotting if you don't eat it right away. So this is a perfect looking tomato. So if you see those on your vine, you want to start picking those. Here we go. Here is the Sun Gold. Sun Gold, these are kind of an orange yellow. Again, you can kind of see this is a perfect one. It gives a little bit when I kind of touch it, I squeeze it there, and you can see I've got the green caps. So when I take those off the vine, I'm just being real careful. I'm just kind of twisting it, okay, because I don't want to pull at the flesh. Okay, so these are perfect. So when we harvest them, and if we're not going to eat them right away, we don't put them in the refrigerator. Just store them outside in your kitchen. 65, 75 degrees is what you want. But have them in your kitchen. You can put like cherry tomatoes, you can put those like in a mason jar and just have those on your counter. Okay, that's a great way to do it. If you've got heirloom tomatoes and some of that are bigger and more fleshy, those you want to kind of lay flat. I would not stack those because they kind of get bruised and stuff. So kind of keep those out flat. And if you do slice them and you don't use them all, you can absolutely store those in your refrigerator, you know, in some kind of Tupperware, or, you know, a mason jar with the top. You can store them in there. That's not a problem. They'll probably keep 2 weeks or so once they're cut in the refrigerator. But definitely don't store your tomatoes when they're whole in the refrigerator. The taste does actually, it kind of affects the taste. They're better when they're nice and kind of, you know, 65, 75 degrees. Another thing, if you live in an area where it's starting to get close, like almost close to freezing, you really want to harvest those tomatoes before the first frost hits. And so you can pick some of your tomatoes, even if they're still a little green, and just let them ripen in your kitchen. You know, and you might need to wait 2 to 3 weeks for that, and just lay them flat on a, you know, maybe on a paper towel, and just let them ripen naturally in your kitchen. You can do that if you live somewhere where it's starting to get pretty cold at night, especially if it's getting closer to frost temperatures. For some people, that is the case right now. So good, I wanted to let you guys know about that. So let's harvest our tomatoes. If you guys look on our Facebook feed, we actually had an interview with Robin Joy, our Happy Food Chef, and we were talking about tomatoes and the health behind tomatoes. Really, really rich in lycopene, which is a great anti-cancer for cancer, prostate, and bone cancer. So really good for your health. And when you eat it fresh, you're getting so much more flavor, and you're also, when you cook with tomatoes, it's a really good way to absorb the lycopene that's in that tomatoes. So we talked about easy recipes for quick marinaras, dips and spreads you can make, stuffing tomatoes with some amazing Mediterranean infused flavors. We were talking about different herbs that you're growing, what you're using to make it more of a Mediterranean flair versus a south of the border flair, all of that. So we'll be posting those recipes in our feed, and you'll see that. So that's very exciting. Now, I want to talk to especially members, if you're here and you're listening to me, we've got our shipments going out next week. So we've got the September seedlings going out along with all the goodies that we send you. And this month, we have been working again with Liana Soaps, and this is so cool. She has made custom soap, herbal and scented infused soaps for us. And we harvested a bunch of herbs from our test gardens. We sent them to her, and she made homemade soaps with our herbs, and they smell so beautiful. It's a wonderful thing. So you're going to be getting that in your box this month. And I wanted to talk about, oh great, I've got background noise. I'll have to be a little quicker. I want to talk about this month and next month, you're going to be thinking about your herbs that have been growing all summer long, and thinking about taking those out and replenishing and bringing in the new plants. Herbs will, they will spend a whole season. So here's this mint. This has been growing pretty much since May. I've cut it back, it's grown, but I can tell by touching the sides, it's pretty root bound right now. And so what I'm gonna do is a couple things I can do. I can cut it all the way back and it will grow in again, but as it starts to get cooler and cooler, especially when we get into November and such, it's gonna really not grow much. And I don't want to use up a pot for that. I want to use a pot that's going to be growing more food for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to harvest all of this mint. Now again, I can do it this month, I can do it next month, but probably, you know, I probably don't want to do it later than November. And I'm going to harvest all that mint. And then what I want to do is there's going to be a big root ball in there. Okay, so it's hard to put in a new seedling in there because it's pretty much all roots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that soil out. I'm going to put it into, you know, I just get a bowl like this. Okay, and I'm going to empty out that soil in here, and I'm going to break it up. I might have some root balls that are pretty big and I can't break up. I'll put that, if you have a composter, if you have a worm bin, put it in there. If not, I put it in a garden bed. Okay, and I'll put that soil once I break it up, and I'm going to take the worm castings that we give to you guys. So the worm castings, I'm going to take this and I'm going to empty out, and I'm going to build in worm castings into that soil. It's going to add new microbial activity. It's going to get more nutrition going into the soil, but it's natural. It's natural nutrition for the soil because it's microbial activity that's breaking down the roots and taking care of that. So that's really important. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to kind of recondition that soil. I'm going to put it back in the pot and put in the new seedling that we are going to be shipping you guys next week. So I wanted to kind of give you a heads up that we want to be doing that. We also, as you know, give you your microgreens every time. So you want to make sure that we are replenishing our microgreens and planting new microgreens. So that is it for today. I wanted to be short and sweet, but remember, harvest your tomatoes, store them on the counter in the kitchen if you're not going to eat them all, and make sure that you're identifying what plants in your containers or on your wall that you want to be taking out when you get your new seedlings. And don't forget, sign up for the 6 and 30 challenge. Members, this is a great way to kickstart your gardening training again. Okay, I know we kind of train you all year long, but it's a great way to kind of start fresh and get a whole 5 weeks of training. And if you're not a member, come on in and join and try us out in October. Like I said, it's only $35 one time, and you get a free microgreen kit when you sign up. Okay, between now and September 19th. And we're taking signups all the way through the end of the month. And then we start our challenge October, the first week of October. Okay? Excited to see you guys. Everybody have a wonderful weekend and stay safe. Bye-bye.